Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to Marathon. For those of you who know me, you've been mostly looking at me all day and I've been teaching you. Sorry, back again. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie Arnell. I'm one of the teachers of acting here at Leighton Sixth College. I also coordinate performance events that happen here as part of the season. Hello, come on in, sit down. And I run creative writing workshops on a Monday lunchtime between 12:30 and 1:30, and they are called Marathon in conjunction with Marathon, which is going to be our termly spoken word event that we're going to be hosting here at the college. So it's fantastic that you're here today. The plan of action is we are going to have an open mic section, and I know lots of you have been asking me, what is open mic, who is Mike, when is it closed, what does it all mean? I've had all different variations of the spelling of it. Poetry is a word that freaks a lot of people out. I've had students this week telling me, oh, I hate poetry, and they're here today, so that feels like a big success and achievement. Hopefully we will change your mind. We want the people who are here today, a lot of you are English language students. It's fantastic that you're here as appreciators of word, appreciators of language, and performers in the making, those of you who are training to be performers. We really wanted you to see how spoken word and performance, what it looks like in the context of studying a show, because I don't want you to just think theatre is just plays and performance is just musicals. There are so many different variations, so it's really important for us that you are here today to have a taste of this. We have an open mic section where we're going to have some students who are going to share some work that they've made with us, which is really exciting. We're going to have, hopefully when he turns up, a teacher or two. It's going to share a bit of work that they've written. And then after that, we've got some guest performers who we have invited, selected, to come here today to perform for you. The professional performance artists, the spoken word artists, so we're really, really lucky to have them here. Before we start, we've just got a couple of things we want to tell you about. Put your hand up if you've ever been to a spoken word event before. Okay, so the majority of people have said no. That's okay. We're going to teach you about some of the kind of things that are okay to do and maybe not to do. Obviously, getting up here and performing on a mic is like opening up your soul and exposing yourself in such a profound way. You need to have a supportive audience. So it goes without saying that we provide love and support and encouragement for whoever's up here. When you're listening to someone performing, if you hear something that they say that resonates or that you really it means something to you, instead of cheering or whooping or cheers or any of those noises that you like to make, we're going to click. So we're going to practice doing that now. Click. This is going to be your way of showing us that there's a bit that you like. Okay? So we call it clicking. Say your whooping and your cheering for the end. It's really important that we keep the energy up in the room, so I want to see if you could all just do a bit of this with me at the moment. Okay, but we're going to just type to a dynamic range. So we're going to go all the way down here, it's like quiet, and then all the way up here is loud. Ready? So we start down here, we hear gentle rumble. Ready? And then down here. Why? Ready? Go! That organic sound, see? Really good things. Okay, brilliant. So we got the clicking, we got this. When I ask you to clap or put your hands together with someone, you are not just going to go like that, you are going to cheer, you're going to make that person feel like you are totally appreciating their presence. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Got it? Brilliant. Okay, so our open mic has officially begun. Mike is here and he's open and stop. The first person who is going to perform for us today is such a lovely, beautiful soul. I'm not on teaching time now, so I can kind of say that. This young man is called Benjamin Edwards. He is a multi-talented, multifaceted performer who I absolutely love teaching and directing. He's a really, really talented actor, and he's just so easy and lovely to be around. Can you please put your hands together for the wonderful...
So, I'm usually a rapper, but as Katie said, she said poems to her students and it really wowed me, so this is something new for me, so bear with me. So I wrote this poem because coming into new schools as a new student can sometimes be a little mad if you don't have any friends or things like that. So, like, you can get mixed in different crowds that you are not necessarily happy with sometimes. So, I just wrote this for this. Yeah.
Not yet. Do that when you say something you think is great. Okay, go.
Gang banging can be known for more than one thing. The weapon with a sharp sting instigates the fights that they thought they might win. Have you ever heard of a pin drop? Because violence doesn't end in cheers, it ends in silence, and nobody wins. The blood on your hands also stays in your brain. Bad blood corrupts, so what do you do when bad blood ends up in your veins? I used to tell friends, fix up. You're going down a bad path, this tunnel vision got you looking forward, so there's no wonder why you forgot your past. We used to be good kids, not rude but polite. Only one of us had changed because one started to fight, he got violent, and it wasn't me who just noticed. He got new friends, a flower who used to be a lotus. See, he didn't change, he was still a kid. Isn't it funny how aggression stands out more than a nice kid did? The world is full of crowd pleasers. No smile needed for the cameras. You can say that with your sneakers or Crocs. Blow smoke around the room whilst playing tunes. We used to call that a hot box. So, sure, we all used to like a little bit of weed, but it's illegal in the UK. So I never stated anything about age. You ever seen a kid smoke and ask them about their age? I have. They said you would do it too if you knew it was high grade. I said, that's bad for you. Smoking kills. He smiled in my face, then walked away. Bad crowds affect your here and now. Throwing away your problems won't help you or just tear you down. Maturity is the authority that you have to stand your ground. So why do so many slip through the cracks and lead themselves to drown? Well, that's obvious. They don't know how to swim. Most of them pretend. Amongst gangsters, that's a sin. There's a war raging for expectation and respect. If you can't be yourself amongst friends, then your feelings are at front lines and showered with neglect. We can all agree that atomic bomb is obviously an explosive. But low self-esteem and no self-respect has enough charges to make a whole crowd shout Holy Moses. You can make new connections, meet someone new every day. What's it going to cost if it all goes wrong, he exclaimed. I said, you might be a bit embarrassed, but that's fine. I'm on a stage, in a place where everyone else seems fine. So, you don't have to be afraid. I'm not.
Please have a massive big foot drum roll for the wonderful Ben Edmonds. Oh, Ben. That's great. That's so good. If I was 17, I'd want to be friends with Ben. I'm not. I'm 39, so it's weird. Okay, next up. They all get.
Katie, I really don't want to go first. Katie, don't make me go first.
But Ben was like, yeah, first. That was ace. Thank you so much. Next up, I would like to introduce you to another performing arts student, whose name is Roshane. Roshane is a second-year performing arts student. She has raw talent on stage. She is a brilliant actress. She performed alongside Ben, actually, at a show that I directed this year at the National Theatre. Super, super talented, another lovely student I would like to introduce you to. You put your hands together for Roshane. Shake!
Hello. I based this poem from COVID-19 because obviously with social distancing and not seeing people, it was just kind of hard for people in the mental health. So this is what I based my poem on. People walk the streets alone. The only contact made by phone. Roads are quiet, the air is still. This situation so surreal. A word that's fallen to its knees, full of fear, doubt, uncertainty. Loved ones you can't hug or kiss. So many friends that you will miss. Wondering how you will get through. What the road ahead holds for you. Still blossoms blooming everywhere. Birds still sing without a care. Daffodils dancing in the breeze. New buds forming on the trees. The sky so blue, not a cloud in sight. The sun's warming rays that bring us light. For those of you who are feeling down, there's still beauty all around. Take yourself to a happy place. Stay at home and keep you safe. One day you'll be able to tell this tale. So follow the rules and keep you well. Sit back now, ride out the ride, and I'll see you on the other side.
Big foot drum roll and cheer and some love for Shane, please. Just so you know, open micers, you can do more than one if you want to. Don't feel like you were excluded. The next person I would like to introduce to the stage is a young lady I've recently met. I am lucky enough to be teaching her EPQ, which stands for Extended Project Qualification. I don't know why everything very formal when I talk about that. It's because it's quite a loving teacher. Brilliant. And she is brilliant, and she also comes to Mouth to the writing workshops, and she does economics, which is exciting. This is Samantha, and I would like you to put your hands together.
Hi guys, this is a poem I wrote today. It's about identity, if you like it. I know what you think when you look at me. Typical black girl, probably loud, probably called Shaniqua, who hangs her wig on a washing line on a Saturday night so it dries by Sunday for church. Typical black girl who's aggressive when she tries to argue her point, more rude when she disagrees with something. No. Although there's nothing wrong with being called Shaniqua or hanging your wig on a washing line, I wasn't called Shaniqua, I was named Samantha. 3 syllables, easy to pronounce, so teachers never really struggled with remembering my name until it got to my surname. It was always, could you please repeat that, or could you please spell it out for me? I always find it entertaining to watch the teachers who would attempt to say it. Having been named Samantha, I can't see myself with any other name. My friends tell me that after meeting me, they now associate the name Samantha with a black girl and not a blonde cheerleader living on the coast of LA. I like my name how it is. If I were a boy, my name would have been Samuel, as my mom was adamant on giving me a name from the Bible. Also, yes, I can be loud. When I'm surrounded by my friends and they share a joke that's too funny to be quiet about, when I'm shouting at my little sister to look before she crosses the road, yes, I can be loud. When I'm singing my favourite song to myself in the mirror, when I'm challenging something stupid that my friend might say, so yes, I guess I am loud. But I can also be quiet. When there's a room filled with strangers, when my mum is yelling at me to wash the fork in the sink, I can be quiet. When we're in an exam and the questions make no sense to me, when I'm slowly losing my mind, so yes, I'm also quiet. I'm also Ghanaian. Amma was the Ghanaian name given to me. Has nothing to do with religion or stereotypes, simply means I was born on Saturday. As a Ghanaian living in Tottenham, this simply means greeting every older woman you see as your auntie, or learning to eat with your right hand and not your left, as you use your left to clean your bum. It means learning how to balance being a British teen growing up in the ghetto and a young, respectable Ghanaian woman. To be honest, I love being Ghanaian. Similar to my name, I couldn't see myself being from any other country. I love being able to switch from English to Tree with my best friend just to talk about something discreet. I love the food, the culture, the people, need I go on? Oh, and you probably didn't see me as the type to also like country music or dance or white girl club music, jumping up and down like a hooligan with my little sister in our living room until we were out of breath and too tired to do what we were supposed to be doing, washing the damn dishes. Don't get it twisted, I still live, breathe and eat Afrobeats from Asake to Burna Boy to the OGs at Rough and Smooth to P-Square, I love them all. My Ghanaian friend said that I was Af, but my Turkish friend swears I was a white girl in my past life. Point is, I'm simply Samantha and I wouldn't change it for anything. Thanks for listening.
Samantha, that was epic, and the fact that you wrote that today, after we had a bit of a chat in the office, and you were like, yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do. Amazing. That's really, really good. Thank you so much. I'm trying to see if she's here before I do like a big speech about her. I'm going to do a big speech about her, whether she's here or not, I don't know. This next student has recently started Level 3 Performing Arts, Year 1. She feels like she's been here before, if that sounds strange. She's a bit of an old soul. She's amazing on stage. You can't help but watch her. Regina, are you here? She's not turned up. She's not here. Never mind. I'll move on to the next one. Watch out for Regina. She's one to watch. Another young lady I'd like to tell you about today is also in that class, equally as dazzling on stage, and has a voice that I can't stop listening out for all the time, so I'm really, really pleased today that she's coming here and she's going to share her stuff with us. Can you put your hands together, please, for Molly?
is about fathers and how your relationship with them can affect other relationships. I met someone new, a boy, to be clear. I know this won't end well. It never does. His gorgeous golden hair, his stupid, hypnotic, ocean blue eyes, making me fall deeper and deeper. I shouldn't feel this way. I only met him yesterday. But I can't help it. I'm already attached. I have my father to thank for that. He gave me a little bit of attention, and now he's spinning circles around my mind. But I'm not to blame. That's all my lame excuse for a father. He's just like the others. He comes and he goes. A father's supposed to be around. They're supposed to be a shoulder to lean on, to pick you up when you fall. And they're supposed to love you. Not my dad, and especially not the boy with the gorgeous golden hair and his stupid ocean eyes.
Molly, that was epic. Can we do one more step, please? Thank you so much. Thank you, Molly. That was beautiful. Have we got Phoenix here? Phoenix? No show. That's a shame. Okay, so we are going to end our... Christian, are you doing anything to do? No. Okay, Christian broke a rib. We all go, We'll all click around you as you leave, and the healing power of the clicks will heal the bone, I'm sure. We are going to end this section of the open mic by asking a young man called Joel onto the stage, please. He is a character and a half. He's lovely. He's full of good energy and positivity. I'm not so keen on the fact he emails me at 9:15 at night to ask if I know where his charger is. But apart from that, he's a good egg, and I'm glad he's here today.
Hi, my name is Joel. I'm going to be giving 2 poems. The first one's called I Am a Winner. Only one can become victorious. Any given day I win is glorious. Though I am one with the wind, you will be the one that is pinned. On the ground, on the floor, just as you was before. You are a loser, I am a winner. And I will serve you any day like dinner. Number 1 is what I see in my future. However, all you'll see is a big fat loser. That's my first poem. My second poem is God to Me. God to me is peace and hope. He is my motivator, my provider, my helper, my guide to direct me to a path of satisfaction. He has given me wisdom to do the right thing. I know with him I'll always be at the right place at the right time. I'll be the head and never the tail. God to me is like a compass to live a victorious life. I will study the word he has given me and listen to his instructions. I know that my God is here to instruct me, teach me, guide me, and show me the path of success.
I made a small error. There's one other person who I've forgotten to include on the open mic. This student came to Markoff to the writing workshops. The first thing that I did when I got him sat down was I wanted him to write down 4 things that really pissed him off. And Jessica wrote down the word poetry, so I was like, oh, I like her, she's good. And amazingly, she's here today to perform despite her hatred for poetry. She's pretty good at writing it, and she's opening up in a way that I never thought she could, and I'm really, really proud of her for that. I know she's absolutely, really, really quite embarrassed and shy and scared, so will you give her the biggest love and support and cheer? Put your hands together for Jessica,
This poem I wrote is called If you really knew me, you know that drinking hot chocolate gives me a stomachache, but I still drink it anyway.
If you really knew me, you know that even though I hate to wear skirts, I still think I look good in a few of them. If you really knew me, you know that I sometimes fall in love with TV show characters. If you really knew me, you know that someday I would like to join the army, even though there's a possibility of me getting killed. If you really knew me, you know that someday I wouldn't like to join the army and get other people killed. If you really knew me, you know that my dad is my favorite parent and I would do anything for him.
No, I don't want to be too coercive, but just the other one, maybe? No, okay, you don't have to. Go on, Jack!
Good.
The other one is called When I'm Old. When I'm old, I'd like to wake up every morning next to my dear loving husband, reminiscing about when we first met and the years that followed. When I'm old, I'd still like to play rugby with other old people who are as passionate as I am about the sport. When I'm old, I'd like to walk hand in hand with my husband to church in a crisp Sunday morning air, or maybe just drive like a maniac that I've always wanted to do. When I'm old, I want to live in a quiet neighborhood with my husband, where my children and grandchildren can come to visit. That's a lie. I hate quiet neighborhoods. I always have.
So you know what, Jess? Every day you should do something that scares you. Some people go abseiling, some people swim with dolphins or run a marathon, strange people like that. But doing something like this is really, really important for, not just for you, but for everyone else, that you share your humanity like that. I'm really, really makes me feel funny. The reason Jess wrote that is because I shared a piece that I've written recently, where I've been kind of imagining what I'm going to feel like when I'm older, because I'm 40 in January and I thought I might feel better if I kind of envisage what I might be like. So this is called When I'm Old. When I'm old, I want to sit outside my blue beach hut in Frinton-on-Sea, laughing gently to myself as I read my book. When I'm old, I want my tired, soft, aging skin to settle gently against knowing bones. I want stories remembered in hazy pockets and toffees to be sucked with unbridled joy. When I'm old, I want to listen to the sea as I fall asleep, soothed by the gentle whisperings and memories of my reckless and beautiful life. When I'm old, I want to compare myself to younger, fitter, slimmer women who will saunter past and I will claim, I used to look just like that. When I'm old, I want my big, soft arms to be the welcome headrest for tired grandchildren who sit beside me, to be used on long journeys or on days when things just feel too tough. When I'm old, I want to be a mighty oak with leaves and branches that reach up to a better sky, solid, strong and rooted, always been there, a protected tree. No one will know how old I am. When I'm old, I want to watch youngsters with computer chips in their head, as I watch their eyes widen and glaze over, as I tell them of the mad history of placing a stamp on a handwritten letter. When I'm old, I want to go to festivals. I want to make friends with strangers and to dance in the dark. When I'm old, I want to move with the changes with quiet reluctance, whilst choosing not to tell people that some of the changes I actually quite like. When I'm old, I want to always wear red shoes. And hats. Always hats. When I'm old, I want them to laugh at my acts of opinionated rebellion. I will refuse the self-service checkouts and I will initiate chats with blank faces on the bus. When I'm old, I want to flirt with the bin men, who I will greet every Friday with "Good morning, young man." When I'm old, it'll make sense. I won't struggle and fight. I'll just be when I'm old, when I'm old, when I'm old. The last poem we're going to finish with tonight is another one from me that it was written up quite a while ago, about 6 years ago. So I don't know if many of you will have heard of it because you are fresh new students. We made a play here about youth violence, and part of my research process was going into young men's prisons and working with ex-gang members. I did a lot of work with the police and found out a lot about the kind of root causes of youth violence, and this was something that I wrote in response to that research. Oh, I'm a bit out of breath. Sorry. Blades slicing through flesh in the breath of the moment. Tyres screech on pounding streets as mothers weep their boys not to keep. As the press spread the fear, words of action, promises of change spill like blood into gutters. Where is the price of life determined by the knife, his knife, that knife, her knife, that found its way into his back, his neck, his torso? 46 stitches for snitches, it's the way the road we're told. Young men not allowed to grow old, left alone to die in the cold. She aches for the life they take. Her boy, her baby. No roadman or younger, no G or young offender. Just her boy, her child. 26 hours in labour, and only 4 minutes to watch him die. But he's carrying to feel safe, just in case someone else chooses to take. When did he become so lost, so scared, so angry, so desperate to risk and to take and to end? When did fingers reach wrapped around cold metal and call it their friend? There to protect them, to see them through to the end, conceal in a pocket daily care not to drop it. When was that the only option? When did he feel so forgotten? Behind tinted windows you hide, blind to the cries of another mother's eyes. Another slice denies the right to life, but it's another after another, and you scroll, you flick, you read another and another, but you don't bleed. You don't need to read these stories anymore. How many this week? 2, 3, 4? It doesn't bother me. It happens to the poor. Keep the poor on the floor, they're just breaking the law, just another feral boy with contempt for the law. More cuts, more closures, another face met by a door. Expulsion, exclusion, losing and proving. We're not moving out here, there's nothing out there for me. I'm just another block of flats burning for all to see that we don't matter. So how do we get free? Escape from this suffocating austerity that keeps us down, but always in the news. Black on black crime, not enough blues and twos. You don't need to concern yourself with them, with youth violence and crime. You sigh, you shrug, eyes roll and you recline, you're fine. It's no brother or cousin or son of mine, so just rack up another line. Tell yourself it happens all the time. When did money become our gods? When did postcodes become profits? When did our streets become the most lethal of markets? Sorry, I'm shaky and a bit, sorry. Bloody drama teachers, drama. I get into that because I'm just not going to talk about why I get into that. We'll chat about it another time. Okay, so we move on to the second part of our evening now. This is where we have our professional performers who we've invited to come in. The first person I would like to introduce you to is a young man. I've got to find a different phrase of young man. He's an ex-student who was here a few years ago. His name is Richie, but he's known as Kitch. He is the loveliest person you will ever meet. He is personable, warm, friendly, and the thing I love about him the most is he is tenacious. He doesn't let go. His tenacity and his commitment to his art, his craft, and his business, which is his work, is unstoppable. He is epic, he's amazing, he's a lovely bloke. Can you please put your hands together?
Yeah, can you do that first?
Yes. I just see. How we doing? You good, yeah? So, I'm going to start off by showing you a trailer for my new short film, and it will explain more on my story, and then we'll get straight into the bars. But yeah, let's watch the film first.
Having a star definitely affects your confidence. It brings on more anxieties. It's like, I'm going to start and I'm going to make a fool out of myself. And so I had quite a lot of anger issues because I just didn't know how to express myself. Because I didn't think that I could rap or I could even become a rapper. I thought it was impossible because I had a style. It wasn't until rap where I got the confidence to accept it. be like, cool, I've got to start, but I'm not going to let it hold me back anymore.
That being said, let's go straight into the first song. This song's out on all platforms, music video everywhere. Yo, I got flows but I'm meant to. I got shows to attend to. All my bros at the venue. I got holes I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy. Your house or the studio, I thought you knew me. Oh, babes, I'm overly focused, I go for the goal, it's on nobody notice, you're totally bogus, the boat in emotion, my flow and it's golden, I'm cold like it's frozen, you're hoping I'm joking, oh no, didn't know, killing that's kicks too free with the flow, play me that beat, I'm abusing it bro, choosing to bruise it, I'm cruising it though, guess who's back with the fresh new raps, king of the lab, your test street raps, claim your spitter, then he best do that, can't keep up, then he best move back like, keep to the sideline, this year is my time, quick little bye-bye, spit like the 5-9, finish on my minds, I don't do shit for the timeline, I'm not vocal on socials, I'll show you what I made on Pro Tools, new school youth but I'm old school, in my ends I'm a mogul, wait a second, no I'm not, hold on, I'm trying to think positive protons, I've had that 5-back arms, I'm trying to be monarch, I'm so gone, I got flows but I'm meant to, I got shows to attend to, all my bros at the venue, I got holes I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy, your house or the studio, I thought you knew me, baby girl, listen, you're mad like Rihanna, princess like Moana, but I might not answer Ray J Blige, please no more drama. I'm not trying to run away love, but you're moving ludicrous. Watch me share my world card, this is my breakthrough, this is what I play you, mixtape 1, great move. I took a little break, but I'm back now, sat down, background, had it all mapped out, I got a little plan now, still independent, not even a manager, I'm here for my rap round. Give it to me please, I move too clean, Selfridges no, Louboutins please, I care for some, Air Force One, and new blue jeans. That's my swag when I roll out, straight up bars, no roll out. Kitsch, I don't do gimmicks, I wrote new lyrics too, don't, that's no doubt. Back in the day they picked on me, now my hobbies and income stream. Mention lyricists, speak of me, don't like it, you lick man. I got flows but I'm meant to, I got shows to attend to, all my bros at the venue. I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy. Your house or the studio, I thought you knew me. My name is Kitsch, NSC, make some noise for me one time. As I said, that's out all platforms, everything. The next song I'm gonna do is a bit slower, and it's my next single called Away. Let's get into it. Cool. I just wanna turn up with my guys, never gonna let up on my grind, so I stay running from my life, get away for the night, get away for the night. See, you say that I'm quiet, but I call it reserved. Save my thoughts for a verse. You say that I'm loved, but it's hate that I feel. Can't sleep right, I'm taking a pill. Past few months, lost more than I gained. Had a friend, but he transformed to a snake. Death of an uncle, I'm moving insane. I'm trying, but nothing's really soothing the pain. Take me away from this pain, away from this chain. Remove all these fakes now. Linked over French when I weren't in the mood. Didn't even talk, but it's worked on his tune. It's like he subconsciously knew. More time I think he was suffering. I just wanna turn up with my guys, never gonna let up on my grind, so I stay running from my life. Get away for the night, get away for the night. I feel my stomach getting worse and it hurts. Normally it works in reverse, but it's cursed. My pride turns and it's hurts, getting burst. Perched on a curve, rehearsed in a verse, but I can't feel lost if I feel numb. They say I work too hard, still young, but I'd rather stay busy than stay bored. Otherwise thoughts creep up, I gotta run. Every time I run, it turns to a chase, so I hit the run. Little bit of chase, tracks getting spun, fill it with a bass. Only time see, smile on my face. There's a missing piece in the not music, then I just wanna turn up with my guys. Never gonna let up on my grind, so I stay running from my life. Get away for the night, get away for the night. Say after me, I just wanna turn up with my guys. Never gonna let up on my grind, so I stay running from my life. Get away for the night, get away for the night. Thank you, big up yourselves, man. Hennessy, yeah? I don't know what it is. Just the love is crazy. I love it here, man. It's sick. Straight into the next one. So, I won't stay down in this sad little deep mood. I'm gonna bring the vibes right back up whenever you're ready for the next one. So I'm quite old school with it. I'm quite lyrical, and this era, that's quite rare, that's quite frowned upon, if anything. So I feel cool. I'll show the youth that, but I'm on the spit on the drill beat, because that seems to be trendy in now. Let's go for it. Yo. Down me, kidding me, count stability, got that promo out of the little leagues. You joker, I'm too cold, Mr. Freeze, you can't win me. I'm playing with words, this ain't Scrabble. Deep bullshit kind of cattle, battle me. No, that's Eve to the apple, but the program leave here, no man's land. I follow you, son, come hold my hand. Watch your step, I know you're so ready when I blew off your head, but pull off your neck. I taught you colours, now I teach you bars, but no, you won't last. Longevity's blessing me, I'll pull you. He's still wrecked to me, rude boy, please don't step to me. I'm all about discipline. Kitch, I ain't giving in. I don't skip leg day, I skip on leg day. Mindset for sensei. If you don't like me, don't talk shit, just fight me. Hands like Mikey, Irish boy, but I'm far from pikey. You can tell what I like, he's like me. Let me slow down. I do this from my hometown. I stammer, but my capitals off my pronouns. Don't know how. You tell me dumb down, but what? My bars are set high. Confident interest. You know what it gets like under the spotlight. Tongue like a 4-5. You can't spit your bait with a hook, but I promise I won't bite. Something smells fishy. Let me read it in. You wanna compare when you see my skin, but I'm one of none. Let me beat a kid like 10 out of 10 is what I'm aiming for. You might play tennis, what you training for? Back and forth with that racket, rap and force in that marriage. Back and forth and I'm scrapping, adding more to that package. Will you think I'm done? You might have drive, I'll leave you spun. I never go neutral, I keep it 100. Skill in abundance, ruin the function. Boss who shot, they pierce and puncture. Bitter the beast, I got that hunger. Give me my props, it's only one eye, but I ain't a cyclops. Fatal up if I lost. I'm gonna blow, just wait for the time bomb. Kitsch. That song there, yeah, is especially special because it's the first time that I've been able to rap a cappella and not stutter or like flop it, so yeah. Anyway, that was a bit too hard, too angry, so I'm gonna end on some good vibes. So play the last song. It's a bit of an Afrobeat tune. I can't sing or dance in it, so I'm gonna need your lot help to vibe with me because I'm just a spitter. I can't dance or sing or nothing. So play the track. If you know this one, please sing along. Let's go.
See, I don't look like what I don't see. I will never forget the 90s. Many nights I go to beg for mercy. Sickle self, you show me prices. Thank you for the journey, oh Lord, oh Lord. If I say my story, oh, oh, oh. Fire kids cool, I'm never blazing. I roll deep with the air, I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula. I did try for myself. VIP no regular. Can't copy this formula.
They offered me a job salary, 50 grand. Sounds nice, but it doesn't fit the plan. I'd rather stay broke, chase my dream. He thinks life that I live hella make believe. If you don't get it, then you've never had a passion. Now I'm in these rooms and it's all cause I'm rapping. Parties for the millionaires till I make an entrance. Still I'm on a guest list, my flows be tremendous. Investments I'm making. Cannot wait till I tell my mama made it. Bring the champagne and they wonder how I did it. What the hell was I facing? Tell my girl do not run, you gotta face it. But I'm not finished, there's still work left. Although I'm not rich, I'm not worthless. I'm a man on a mission, manifesting my visions. Sing. I can't see you not dancing. What is this? Yeah, there we go, there we go. My name is Sketch. All my socials are there. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Yo, wait, hold on. What was that? Oh, I'm called Kitch. As I'm born in my kitchen. And the first thing I was ever called was Kitch. So yeah, that's what I'm called Kitch. But also, I think 6 years ago. Your last piece, was that 6 years ago?
No, we've done other ones since then, but yeah.
Because I was there, and you wrote, and now 6 years ago.
And you and me were under the stairs, remember? And I was like, I've written this thing, but I think you'd do better if you did like beats or something with it.
And now 6 years ago, though. That's what I'm saying. I thought, oh.
Can we do one more big foot stamping for our next one more? Kitch, if you're feeling old, there's no hope for the rest of us. That's all I can say. So please make sure you follow Kitch and keep up with what he's doing. He is the most prolific user of social media, and yeah, so keep following. Okay, the next person I want to introduce you to is someone I met at a really brilliant spoken word event called Word Soul. Am I getting it right? Word Soul. Yeah, which is in the Crate in Walthamstow. And this person really grabbed my attention because he shows his personality and there's a vulnerability and a brilliance about his performance, and he's just a really nice bloke, so I'm really glad he's here today. You put your hands together for Arnie the Better, please.
Arnie in the building, now you're doing, you right? Yeah. Can you hear me loud and clear? Alright, so I appreciate the whole aspect of vulnerability. When I do my spoken word, I tend to talk about the things that I go through, my flaws in my thinking, the things that I go through in life. So I'm just trying to inspire someone in the crowd until I retire anyways. This piece which Kate heard and which I was honoured to be invited by was called Man On. And you know when you're in the football field and someone says Man On, it means like some issues coming your way, isn't it? So I did a little spin to it. So I did some superheroes. Does that really make sense? No, it doesn't. So Marvel heroes, DC. You found the Marvel in DC? Yeah. So tell me how many heroes you catch on to anyways when I do this piece. So this is how it goes down. Man On. I'm just trying to use the gift that God gave me, which is poetry for the spoken word, and talk about the very things none of the devil's advocates ever heard. Try and put the worlds of poetry in motion, and talk about all the things that's causing my mind a commotion. My name is Arnie the Beta. I pen problems with the fingers and tips that I was blessed with. Know that every single beta out there is a product that's continuously tested. But when my pen is in the highest working order, they'll say that this is the finished product that you shouldn't have messed with. But oh, I got some Hulk in my voice. And I could have been Captain America for everything I'm about to say. But right now I've got a poetry show and the freedom of choice. I hate the way to encourage a man in this society to tell him to man up. But all society ever did is try to bring the man down. I hate the way you can say men are trash. Like somehow it's a universal message that's so world-renowned. But no one ever peeped the collateral damage. Somehow a rubbish quote became something so profound. I mean, not every guy could be most wanted. But somehow they've been Laden. Then they've been lined up. But you didn't realize they've been through things. But if I had to tell you what that guy's been through, they're probably holographic things. But as you hear it, you either be shocked by your pair of eyes or remain vindictive to say it's a pair of lies. Listen. I hate how society situates guys into a group. Good or bad, these X's factor them into one group. And then Simon or Simona says they have to move in one direction. Hell. But I hope the only way is up for a guy to rehabilitate. But if my mind continues to trickle down, Because the world continues to despise a man, but I didn't realise he's in his own web, with the mood swinging, hoping for that Mary Jane for comfort. But I guess even in his own homecoming, there's still no way home. But like Spider-Man, there was a time in my life when I was looking for a doctor to change my time. Multiverse. Let me take you to a place I land where time forgot. A 16-year-old going through therapy. Allowing my doctor to see my dead diary. Yeah, y'all didn't know I was going through such a stage. I couldn't remain silent or be in a rage, because I allowed my doctor to see my dead diary, and she said there was too much venom on this page. And I could have caused a life of carnage. So I was looking at my doctor strange. Because even back then I realized I had a better role. I'd rather pen my problems as opposed to penetrating souls, and that's real. That's real. But I guess that time in my life I didn't have an Uncle Ben with an uncle's pen. He could tell me with great power comes great responsibilities. But then I looked at my hands. These fantastic forces, I realized I could make a paranormal activities. So yeah, I could have been the best ghostwriter. But if I believed in myself back then, I could have kept my lights up. But 14 years down the line, I might not have an Uncle Ben with an uncle's pen. But I realized like a caveman, when things get hairy, you can still evolve, turn the wheel, and make the fire work in the den. But no one ever deeped the evolution. In therapy, I found a solution. I went from Jose Mourinho prefer not to speak to open mics and I practice what I preach. And I looked at the future like Hawkeye. I think I became an optimist. Because I hit every single opportunity and oh boy, I never missed. But life made me question my aspirations as a man. I already peaked my end game. I couldn't avenge how my heart felt. I thought I could be the best chocolate rapper, but I knew my little Kevin Hart would melt. Yeah, life got me questioning my end game. I mean, is every guy supposed to be like Tony? You know, either a genius or billionaire or playboy or philanthropist? Then it starts on me. If every guy is supposed to be that Iron Man, you have a hole in your chest where your heart's supposed to be. And not every man is supposed to be made of steel. Or should they? I mean, these days you can't even Superman up because of his own kryptonite. And if I was able to break down kryptonite, a man is not able to cry in his own kryptonite because he's too worried that his tears will jerk him. And that's why you never hear about a man who's choked up, or teenage boy, because he's unable to unravel his emotions and he's already choked up. But the worst thing is, any of you guys could easily be that man. You know, a dark night in the cave, a black sun living in darkness. But I guess only a Stevie can wonder what I'm talking about. But that's why I try to spend my days trying to better me. In some ways I'm trying to better you. Trying to be a better man. Trying to have a better plan. Trying to be better than. Trying to be better than whoever's on the other side of that better than. But listen, I may not have a leg to stand on, but I still want a legacy, a foundation of equality that no one can drown on. And I may not have a leg to stand on, but in this life's pitch, I'm a defender. And I'm just trying to tell everyone, please, man on. Let's play ball together. Thank you. Thank you. That was really receptive. I like it. This piece hits home to me. It's one of the earliest pieces I ever did. It was during the whole lockdown. And I was going through a whole mindscape. Like, you know, I was still trying to think, am I actually going to find love anywhere? And especially in the place where I work most of the time. You know, that's where people tend to find work, you know, to find love. But this is where I failed, and I tend to talk about failures. So this is where I failed to find love, and this is called Navigator. This is how it goes down. This is not a diss track. Unrequited love. I'm just talking about a mismatch. I thought I could find love in the workplace, the place where I always dispatch. Now I'm pen and paper saying, how on earth did I miss that? For she. I figured it would be along the same track to life. My whole intention was to try and find a wife, but I could only find a wife she could be this strict. Because every guy she meets wants her to Piccadilly or run a special private service. Always having to retrain or rebuild her mindset on guys, but there's always a mindset. But I only wanted to encircle her central line of thought. But any approach became a weekend closure. Even though she was up north and I was down east, I did everything I could to make the Thames link. Even when things are on the brink, I still dock her light dear to me. Matters are only severely delayed, but I didn't want it to be severely dismayed. Because you seem like the Queen Victor on tourist day. You know that Jubilee. And like the Elizabeth line, she seemed like the heart to my London eyes. So I was surprised when I accept delays from a metropolitan lady like she's from the overground. Having to interpret the mixed signals and low connection like she's underground. But you know what? As I look back, it's not how you interchange, but how you interact. Sometimes the king crosses the wrong queen's way and you start barking inside. Only reminisce the fact. And I thought I was looking at the course of the angel in my star lane, but she endured in my temple, mind, set. But trying to navigate her in London proved difficult, and I tried to navigate her, but that's life. Sometimes you roller coaster along the same train, intertwined in the same carriage, aligned different platforms, and depart in separate ways. Part 2. Thank you. This is not a long enduring issue that I had going down, but luckily I've been able to overcome it. Because as you grow older, you need to evolve as a person, isn't it? You need to grow. And this is about body dysmorphia, and I know that this hits home to a lot of teenagers and adults out there because we still feel it. We still feel like, who are we looking at when we look into a mirror? So I'm just going to have to borrow your energy right about now. So when I say the word play, I want you guys to repeat after me. The word play.
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 One time. They say speaking your truth is therapy. This is my personal rehabilitation. I've been through the school of hard knocks in life. Now I live a life like it's graduation. Wait, that's a fabrication. I was hoping one of you could say congratulations. My life left me stuck in a box of issues. Now I'm in a room for conversation. I thought I was living life like it was graduation. But when I became an adolescent, it only added lessons. And the lack of family presence became my essence. But that's not just the problem. It was past words enter like past words into my mindset. Turn my mindset into a mindset. Now my mind and mind cannot compute with this mental virus I'm insecure. But now I'm standing here and giving myself recognition. I'm going to leave it to all of you to give this poem high definition, because it's untitled. I'm in a place where I can speak easy. I have to get something off my chest. I'm in the late 10th, 6th form. I'm informed to lay something to rest. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it best. For the longest time I had to deal with myself issues, but I want poetry to say the rest. Now I'm about to use my highest method of wordplay, but I want to start to everyone in the crowd says the word play. Play. I appreciate your reciprocation. And I hope the message of the poem gives you consideration. Because if you understand that message, then maybe it's just the words of affirmation that gives you clarification on how to be the kings and queens of your eternal nation. Mirror on the wall. I'm disgusted by my still image. Disgusted I adjusted the cornerstones of what I perpetuated a self-created image. Thinking, is that me? That's not what I want to be. Until I look no further. But then my eyes panned the dark scrimmage. I side-eyed the self-image that was ducking and diving and transferring a full flexion. I refused to stand parallel. Because all I witnessed was a pair of L's and a pair of eyes that was paralyzed, witnessing the same sorrow of a pair of lies. I said eyes, L's, paralyzed. I was ill from what I was used to seeing. I always saw myself less of a human being. But I guess that's how you lose your self-respect. When you can no longer self-respect this mind and body temple, this vessel that you're supposed to protect. But as I reflect, I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom it, I guess that's why I'm on my matrix mindset, because I was triggered. I was triggered because I could no longer figure the figure image of me that was looking in discernment with the raised eyebrow. I was triggered because I could no longer figure the mirror of me was inspired by the mirror of D. Looking at myself and saying, which pill did I swallow? Because if I take the red pill, I feel the blue. If I take the blue pill, I think one earth is really true. Overdosing on the vice, I think of what the mind portrays. It's a mirror image with the mind's eye relays. I couldn't fathom it. It's like if our cortex, I looked into our inner cortex, I looked at our forefathers before us and said, this is what the mind reflects. And because of my temperament, because my inner temple meant that my self-portrait seemed like it was full of poor face. I came from a portrait, like a bad NFT art in the Tate Museum. Or real life Mona Lisa looking at, rolling her eyes, cooking at a girl from The Exorcist, like she's so insecure of herself. Well, this is where the message gets relevant though. I mean, I love being black. No doubt about that. I gotta appreciate the surface of my habitat. And I gotta appreciate my melanin. When it's still parts of this world that still believe that I'm bred in sin, I give a toast to that fact. Sometimes I feel like the world discloses the African. Sometimes I feel like only the sun appreciates the African habitat. In 22, I'm still trying to figure out why the world's disclosed the Afro-Black. But listen, let me hold your mind for a minute. I just said bread is the new theme. I said bread, toast, sunlight, onto the spread love in the message of the whole scheme. And I also said bread is sin. But one day, I hope I can stand in the presence of my reflected essence and say the black of the berries is own medicine. And to its own relevance, I hope the better version of me, myself, and I is its own state of prevalence. But right now, I stand in the repercussions of what can only be described as the reaper's cousin. Because I stood in the image of me that was roughened. But I still had a soundly deep discussion with the potential in front of me that could be toughened, like iron sharpens iron, or may the mirror sharpens you. Because it allows you to build yourself up and chisel your features like it was carpentry. So tell me, who's the sharpest D? When I say iron sharpens iron, maybe it's not about being in the presence of others. I want you to look in the mirror next time and say, now you see me, this is us. I'm standing in front of the mirror's edge. And the other day was cinema day. So for you to be that top gun, you need to be the maverick that gives the mirror a pledge. But the problem is there's too much noise in this world, there's too much external noise. There's too many positive requisites and too many opposites and benefits. But what if we had a positive requisite and an opposite that will benefit you or me? Now that's a benefit. But as long as we focus on that, we won't focus on the lie but the true reflection. We was all made in the image of God. That's a true projection. I've only got one body in this lifetime. I need to keep a temple. That's a real connection. But if I don't build myself up and chisel my features, then well. But everything I said today is about preservation. I've been suffering for over 20 years. I've been present hating. But I know the best version of me is in the future. It's like a present waiting. But if I don't build myself up and chisel my features, it's like a preserved waiting. But when you look in the mirror next time, I just want you to check yourself, respect yourself, respect yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. There's no debating. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Put your hands together and your feet to the floor for Arnie the Next up, I would like to introduce you to Ifti, the East London poet, who I've been slowly stalking on the internet. Hope you don't mind being reading your poems. Is that alright? Is that weird to say that? Hopefully it's not awkward between us now. I've planted this stalking vibe. Can you please put your hands together for Ifti, please?
Thank you, Katie. Yeah, you guys are really, really supportive. I didn't know what to expect here. I actually, well, a long time ago, I came to Leighton's sixth form for like 3 weeks before I went back to my secondary school sixth form. So I really didn't know what to expect, but this is such a beautiful space, and thank you for putting this together. How many of you are from East London? I mean, to be expected, right? But this poem is after a song by a guy called MIC. He wrote a song about North London called The Only Perfect Place on Earth, and I'm not from North, I'm from East, so I wrote this poem about East. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church, Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. Brick Lane, Bungler Townhouse, immigrants and cockneys, now all Shoreditch is overrun by them yuckies. Gentrifiers from the shires come here and Hackney, popping up like acne, pushing us all out swiftly. £8 for a coffee, you're having a bubble, this ain't ends. Hipsters and young professionals are all pretend. Shops having to cater to these high-end bell ends, while locals get short-changed, struggle to meet ends. Insta don't have filters for the problems you're masking. We can't all get pushed out to Dagenham and Barking. It won't be lasting. EastEnders are the lifeblood, the ones who start things. And without us, what does this area have left? Soulless chain stores and corporate-sponsored theft. Houses bought by millionaires, empty they've left. A city-annexed area, no heart in the chest. Just money in the pockets of shiny Savile Row suits. Funny because then they use our slang, another way to loot. Bankers, property developers and councillors all in cahoots. They backstabbed us, bled us dry and then blamed the crime on youths. Tech bros in hoodies that don't get profiled by the feds. Rich posh girls in balaclavas because it's the new TikTok trend. Old money Donny saying this place used to be a shithole, raising his glass. Rather go hungry than swallow the regeneration lies they peddle us. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. That is, if it hasn't been turned into a cafe my family can't afford. That is, if it isn't the new Mayfair with houses owned by lords. The earth is only perfect when we honour the East End, where it's all happening and any geezer can be your friend, any person can be your sibling, because we're bonded by the graft. I know money rules this country, but we'll have the last laugh. The last laugh will be rent controls and a rise in the wages. The last laugh will mean local people in these here stages. The last laugh will mean access to community-owned spaces. The last laugh will mean housing for all, not just based on status. The last laugh will be sweet. You'll pull faces from the taste. Nectar for the working people, the ones who run this place. The ones breaking backs, driving cabs to put rice in the cooker. The ones like my dad who drives an Uber for our future. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church. Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. So supportive, I love that, thank you. Who knows who Riz Ahmed is? Anyone like his films? Yeah. So this next poem is called Riz Ahmed. I am a man manufactured and multimedia. I am A-star, A-star A, cash and carry, and Oxford poster boy assembled from W.H. Smith workbooks. I am exotic, ripe for the picking, packaging, and putting into the fruit bowl of society. I am trendy, long-line kurta, stitched together by brown children over 5,000 miles away, sold to me by the all-seeing algorithm on ASOS's Instagram. Had my parents not left for this country, I may have been one of those sweatshop kids represented only by the Made in Bangladesh logo. I am my mother's pacing in front of the stove, and my father's quiet idling in his Prius. My cells are populated with numbers of debts, regrets, and wrinkly dates that may at any moment burst. I am the crowded Tower Hamlets flat that kept my less lucrative passions contained until the juices ran and dried into a law degree the shape of a neat brown splash, perfect for an otherwise white canvas. I am soon to be a Netflix film starring Riz Ahmed, because apparently he's the only brown British actor ever. He looks nothing like me, merely a shadow on a cave wall cast from burning a multitude of peoples and melting them into one smooth clay-skinned figure. I look at childhood photos of myself from when I was wheat before harvest, stood in the sun. I try to scream at the kid to take off on his tricycle, but the words do not leave my mouth. If I'm honest, I am a man. 6 months to promotion, half marathon for Bangladeshi schoolgirls, and master's degree, inshallah. My parents raised me to be a model. At least my model is a doctor. At least my model is a lawyer. At least my model is a mortgage. At least my model is a Mercedes C-Class. If I'm honest, I am not still watching. One day I dreamt that little boy I saw in my photos talk back to me like he was afraid, riding away on his bike saying, "You're not me, you're not me, you're not me," and I couldn't help but nod. If I'm honest, I am a man who will never be the juice of an orange, just the bitter peel that keeps the juice inside. Frank Sinatra said, "That's life." Muhammad Ali said, "Don't count the days," and Riz Ahmed will win an Oscar for playing me in a film. When I am old, I will watch it and wonder why they chose him to play me when I couldn't even successfully play myself. Thank you. One more cheeky poem, is that all right?
Yeah, go for it.
My chosen path was eggs. I fried instead of letting grow, tossed in a pan, sizzling in the hot oil of my parents' words. Friends and cousins and neighbours and lovers doing up progress, but I keep my dreams parked in the bay of my bed. I walk down the Isle of Dogs on a cool Tower Hamlets night, main road smelling of exhaust pipes and exhausted families. But a stroll in the cold feels like fresh sheets for my being. I add weights to the barbell of my thoughts. Luckily, I've got a few trusted ones who spot me. Want you to know that your banter does more for me than a million years of therapy. My mind takes the words, "let's chill," and associates it with freezing time on Victoria Park's many benches. Cigarette smoke swapped for vape smoke, swapped for cardio, and then back to fags. I hate the smoke, but I like you lot. I like you lot a lot. Smoke out the demons, lighting up convos, our clothes are stained with smells we'll vaguely recall tomorrow. Pissing into the canal shouldn't feel as fun as it does. That's what you call dodgy streams, and I ain't talking about the footy. It's great being in the East End's armpits with no place to go, seeing you pair aloe vera juice with a 20 mag. Don't do drugs. I don't know how many times I've been saved from my rash decisions by being laughed out of them. Lord knows how many times I've decided to give up fried chicken, but the ketchup is always redder in a neon-lit PFC. When it's time to go, I take the long way home, so I can enjoy the post-link-up thoughts for dessert. I wonder whether I am the doubts that weigh me down, or whether I am the person who my mates praise me to be. We're gonna be okay is a phrase punctuated with the word bruv. Like, bruv, put that egg on some toast, and toast to another evening well wasted.
Can you please make some more noise for that man who makes pictures with words that blow my mind? He's amazing. Big, big cheer. We're on our final act for tonight, guys. So can we just check? I want to check the volume levels. Let's start with the feet. Ready? Quiet. Work. Keep going. Your hands together for Yassi.
We're in need of some drastic changes before we kill off the youth's ambition, rendering a generation of failures. It's like we're balanced on the verge of greatness, but hanging by a thread we're weightless. Capitalistic daggers, how we take this, generic reprogramming of our homeostasis. Everybody's baited by the profits of a day shift, but this business is basest and the money is contagious. So we quarantine ourselves in metaphorical cages, rats chasing our tails, scavenging for wages, patience is waning, falling for raises. We're killing each other while trying to climb to a paycheck. But it's fine when the day's end. I'm writing and blazing a haze that I'm faded, philosophically out of my depth like I waded too far into these pages. Like I painted it with what I think, stained it with the ink. Can you believe we're on the brink of evolutionary supremacy? In the same millennia, we developed enough weaponry and hereditary tendencies to destroy the planet's legacy forever. See, technology encompasses your energy. And our species has come so far, chasing a dream we'll never see. If we continue to threaten the world with nuclear weaponry, I have to scream, tell them, G. This should be elementary, not secondary school to our thoughts, but it's cool now we've got laws, schools and courts, more concerned with the commodities we're bought and the values we're taught. We're all flawed and warped, bored and poor, wanting more and more. I think it's historically obvious. Subliminal hypocrisy doesn't bother us. Humankind's never been so abominably conscious. Not abominably because we're doing anything abominable, except for the guns, but bombing makes peace, so we're bombing them all. I'm begging you, Donald, not to build a wall. You're nothing more than a frolicking fool. But I say inspiration is a pyramid. So listen close, follow the limerick with him at the top. The only thing dripping off is syphilis. It's ridiculous. How's a man with this level of ignorance sitting there claiming power and influence? Shut up with your bigoted views. Get off the news, he's a prude and particularly crude. We shouldn't be giving him an audience to spout this shit to, but we do. So it's cool, I guess. Back to school, where kids learn less of life's crucial tools. More that you must sit there, not speak, and follow the rules. Not that that's anything new, but nowadays young people have nothing to look up and aspire to, when the people at the top of our society exemplify everything that's wrong with today. In these hellish concepts we play, I guess this agonising ignorance is blissful in a way, but not enough to float away. So I guess we just stay in our ends and don't learn. But I don't rate that. I can't sit there and take that. Still stuck in my hood like Stormzy and Raid that, so far forward but stuck so way back. So somebody please explain to me how it's not plain to see that something is going majorly wrong within our society when the powers that be holding, or moreover controlling our values, those same groups of people who can orchestrate the building of enough chemical weapons to destroy a planet that houses 7.6 billion human residents. Yeah, those same groups of people who can orchestrate the building of enough chemical weapons to destroy a planet that houses 7.6 billion human residents cannot create an education system to empower, teach cooperation and tackle the evils we've created. Hey, I guess everybody is still baited by the profits of a day shift. But this business is basest and the money is contagious. And doesn't it bother you? Doesn't it bother you that those people who are truly in power are never held accountable for their actions? They didn't create an education system to empower, just to teach division and fractions. Home. What is home to you? Conceptualized or true? Everything or nothing, a place you love or a place you're stuck in. We make a home in what we do. We build a life, we dream it true. I made a home beside you. You killed a dream, I'll see it through. It seems the older you get, the less people relate to you. The less friends have got time to wait for you. I thought that I knew home, a place to be, safe, where not just I, but everybody understood me. Turns out, that reality is malleable. The insignificance of our existence is tangible. And with the current state of financial affairs for youth in our city unsalvageable, I'd like to know how these people even consider building a home manageable. I mean, the homes we build are breakable, but the one already provided is safe for all. Provided we stop with the legal violence, end drilling inside it, disastrous mining, we mess with the world's natural wiring while banning psilocybin and then wonder why the world needs enlightening. These oxymoronic traditions get tiring, these corporate prats need inspiring, we need to support the youth's enlivening, because they've stolen our home, but this shit is not over. The world's getting hot, then the world's getting colder, then we need children that are bolder than men to rewrite the script so we can begin again. Because there is still a chance that we create home, a community that will last, dance and thrive in global unity. No soul will feel alone, no body imprisoned. That's how we'll all be living when we create a peaceful system, empty of greed so every entity is free. Oh, what a time, I can't wait to be alive, when we throw harmonies instead of weapons in the skies. Oh, what a time, I can't wait to be alive, when we throw harmonies instead of weapons in the skies. Thank you. So what's going on, everyone? My name's Yossi. Oh shit! Sorry about that. I am so sorry, tech team. Hey, Mr. Lighting Guy, can we get some of them cool lighting change-ups at Kitch Out? That totally inspired me. When Kate said about like projection, do you want projection, lighting, sound? I was like, what is a spoken word event? We don't get them kind of things at poetry events. I didn't quite clock the scale we were working on. Before I go on to my next piece, I just want to big up everyone who's performed today so far. The open mic was fire. Everyone who's done a slot, Katie, you were fire. Kitch, Arnie, Ifti, big everyone up, please. And the open mic is at the beginning. And you lot are cold. I go to professional spoken word events all the time, and you lot just rock that shit. So yeah, you lot need to be doing this.
You're an ass.
My name's Yossi, that is YOSSI. If you want to find me on social media, on Instagram, I'm Yossi_spoken word. So if you are on your phone and you're taking little pictures and videos, please feel free to tag me. That's YOSSI. Thank you, ladies, that's very kind of you. YOSSI_spoken word. Alright. I met her on the M1. She was in an M5. I asked about her BMW, brackets being my wife. We stopped for a coffee and to briefly share lives at a service station on Junction 9. She was impatient and didn't have much time, so when it came down to it and I asked about her future, she said she's got drive. But I don't know if she can afford this Focus. I'm trying to compare the market, looking for that perfect, illogical, magical moment. And even if it's only for this 40-minute test drive, I still want to give her a full service and MOT. So I said, next time you're free, why not holler at me and I'll pick you up in my Mark III. It's a Top Golf. And on date night, we can go anywhere, but she wasn't impressed. She wants flames from the exhaust on the road, the red leather and the rest. I tried my best, but the only fire I possess occurs naturally in my chest, in the the only fire I possess occurs naturally in my notepad, in the woods and in my chest. I really wanted to inspect her bodywork and put it to the test, but we're on different planets. I never managed to keep up with her shopping habits. She was looking for a man with a Lamborghini. With my wallet, she'll need 3 wishes and a genie. But there's hope, because she recognises me, says she thinks she's seen me somewhere before. Was it that spoken word thing on MTV? I said, yeah, sure. Now she's asking about the state of my investments. She wants to know the depth of my fiat currency. I told her it's only 500 currently, but I've got this money flowing like a current bee. You feel the tide we're raising? I've got money maturing like a grape to a raisin. I've got old school pounds doing chemistry experiments in my glove box that deserve to be hanging in a gallery. We could go there. I said, why don't you come on over, Valerie? But she said, nah, would rather sour my art like putting citron on Picasso. Told her I'm Pablo with a pen, what do you expect? We parted with the lips and it's on to the next. I refuse to invest in a fancy whip till I can pay my parents' rent, because this system's bloody bent. They want us empty, addicted and starving, treat us like anuses from their Lamborghini Uruses laughing. They're just playing a game which doesn't affect the rich. Wages stay the same, but rising prices are perpetual. I'm trying to fulfill my potential, not just my petrol, so I can get a week off work to go link this next thing that I met in Westpool. Now, that's a long way on the M6. North of Wolverhampton, it's a little in the sticks, but it might be worth it if the pussy's worth the risk. People, take it with a pinch of salt. Wait to hear the twist. Wait till you see the way I make that gear stick shift. That pussy is a Jaguar, I'll make it play like this. Shit. See, Wendy said she's got the E-type. I think that's a bit of me-type. I think driving that would feel right. So now I'm on the M5, nearly the M6, about to link this chick who lives a little in the sticks. I thought I'd impress her in my camouflage whip. She was disappointed and in quite some disbelief when I pulled up outside in a green Nissan Leaf. I said, it's good for the planet, it's got a lovely eco engine. She said, yeah, your request to drive my Jag is still pending. I said, well, you're missing out, because my Nissan might be shit, but my Alfa Romeo's got a banging ending. So now she wants to see what's in these jeans other than keys, because I dropped some lines that you wouldn't believe. But she wants a bad boy racer like the Donny from Greece. And with my schedule, I could never afford to be Max, because I'm busy just being Yoss. So we parted with a kiss and I bopped off like a boss to go and take the Nissan Leaf back to the shop. And as I go to drop it off, I see this one new thing that's kind of, woof. And my heart starts racing at the thought of being in this McLaren with the feds chasing like I've got 9 other lives. So I seduced the sales agent because I couldn't afford the payments otherwise. Told her it's only time we're wasting, life's short and I'll make you feel amazing. So with a great deal and fantastic credit rating, we went back to mine and we're still blazing in the air, sparks flying. Her tyres have all come off, but her wheels are still spinning rampantly. And the way she's grinning got me feeling like a champion, G. Like I could be the Lewis Hamilton of your love's tragedy. I told you I do this fantastically but casually. I might make these moments move magically, but if you're not the one, it's not marriage, you see. I had to take back the McLaren, because in a month my bank balance was barren. So I don't know how I was pursuing posh Karen. She wanted to drive in a Bugatti to a chalet. My whip barely made it here today and ain't even had a valet. Regardless, she says when I get on stage my words are like ballet. And she knows I'm sweet. I'll buy her candy floss at fiestas on the street. I can afford cans of KA to her heart's content. But what's to say we'll go the distance? I'm crossing the channel on a Discovery Land Rover, looking for a 4-leaf clover. My mind's range roves over continents from Krakatoa to Samoa back to Dover, over land, over seas, over fields and over finches. like the wind above my bird feeders. Remember the old days of rickety three-wheelers? If we build trust, you can become my reliant Robin. That's what I was thinking when I met this one buffeting called Lauren. We caught eyes at a gig somewhere down south. She couldn't believe the shit that came out of my mouth. Said she never thought a white boy could spit fire like that. I said, you ain't heard of Woodsy, Luke, Jamie or Jack. I showed her some bars, we went to a bar, then to mine we went back. I said we could sail the 7 seas and watch the sunset from a lighthouse. She said she'd rather go to Lightbox because Lauren likes house. I said we could burn wood on the beach and watch the flames play a dance of desire. She said she'd rather go to a drum and bass rave at Fire. So the very next night in Vauxhall, I asked her astrology signs, and in the course of what she told me, I realised we weren't right. Yeah, I'm Alpha, but can't be her Romeo, so hit up option Bravo, that honey be my Juliet. I told her even if we're hundreds of miles away, I'll still be there to save the day like I'm the RAC or the AA. And after the last time I had to call them to save my day, I thought I'd better scrap the old girl away anyway. Let me tell you about the second last car I met. Let me tell you about the second last girl I met. Her name was Mercedes, but she loved a cat. She was a Class A kisser, but always brought Class A's in bed. And I thought it wasn't worth the trouble because she gave Class B head. All the drugs had me worried about my DBS because I didn't check the parking. So I'll be doing up a James Bond departing as I leave in my Aston Martin and vanquish on a vanished thing. Let me tell you about my current kind of German, kind of Spanish thing. She's parked outside, and when you take a seat next to me in my ride, I feel like a king in my Leon. One day we'll join the Mile High Club, then return to our seats. One day we'll join the Mile High Club, then return sipping champagne to our seats on the plane to Ibiza. Right now we're sitting on the wine-stained seats of this sea at Ibiza. I've got a whole stack of plans, so I've got places to be, my love Elisa. I don't want to have to love and leave you. I don't want a Honda Jazz around the point. I just want your civility in my Civic while we smoke this joint. Later that day, she agreed to meet with me. The evening went quite sweetly, we were chatting cheekily. She said she dreams of driving back to her home near the Alps. Maybe it will happen in my Toyota Yaris. I predicted that piece of Japanese plastic probably won't make it to Paris, but I am willing to try. And if you've got an old banger, there's no need to be embarrassed, because proud people are out here walking and taking the bus. She said something about the environment and said she'd had enough. Yeah, talking's fun, but it becomes a mystery or myth. She put her fingers on my lips and we started to kiss. After a couple of minutes of this, when I asked to look under her bonnet, she said nah. And to be honest, it's just flirting, it's just teasing. I know how many other girls you're seeing. I told her, baby, I'm not buying, I'm just leasing. I do 50,000 miles in a season. I told her, baby, I'm not buying, I'm just leasing. I do 50,000 miles in a season. That's called Carpe Diem. Thank you very much. Sorry about the mild profanities and sexual references. Hope that's all alright with everybody. Alright, listen, I've got one more very short piece for you guys. You've been a lovely audience, thank you so much. As I said, my name's Yossi. You can find me on Instagram at Yossi_spokenword. A lot of lost souls searching. When I open my heart, I hear them hurting. Conditioned by material urges lurking. Put a mask on every person, the world would look disturbing. Caught up, wrestling in these social norms. Yeah, she's special but looks so forlorn. At the window of the world in need of soul reform, where most people never recognise the wholest form. Yeah, I'm scribbling my oldest thoughts, no, written in a roll with drawers. From very young being so distraught, the view of life we're mostly taught. Like we're nothing more than unholy thought when we know we're more. Like we're nothing more than unholy thought when we know we're more. How many truly satisfied? How many bubble wrapped in lies, caged inside contorted mind of a version that we're taught is right, of a version that we're taught is life, gaze averted from the source of light. They've commercialised our instincts like we're meant to leave an imprint, when essentially we're in sync. So everything is perfect just the way it is right now. And there's a lot that still needs changing, but we'll figure it all out. Because everything is perfect just the way it is right now. And there's a lot that still needs changing, but we'll figure it all out together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Guys, can you please put your hands together once more and do a big stamp for our Yossi? And one more really big loud show of appreciation for everyone who's got up to the Thank you so much. You've been a lovely audience. You're a delight to teach most of the time.
Quick move! Oh, the light is.